Hello, hello, everyone. I am
Hello.
Crow, and I'm joined today by. Go
Me,
ahead.
Goku Black.
Yes. All right. So I happen to be the creator of this particular randomizer. I'm excited to get to share it with you guys today. And the basic concept before we just jump in here and get things started is that in Final Fantasy IV, the Lunarian Shuffle, we are going to be going through the original plot of the game, the original dungeons, the original set of bosses in the same order as usual. However, everything that we have access to is very randomized. We don't know which characters we're going to get when. We don't know which equipment style each character uses. We don't know what abilities they're going to have. We also don't know what equipment even exists in the game because we have in fact turned on the option to randomize equipment itself. There's a lot of other little bumps in the road that we'll talk about as we go through. But for now, I think it's about time for us to go ahead and get things started. You ready to go?
Yeah, do you want to do the countdown?
Sure. We'll do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So we have turned on the option to have shorter cutscenes than the original game has. So we will still see what's going on in the plot of the game, but we'll be seeing it in kind of a pantomimed fast-forward version. So if you want to fill in your own details on the plot, you can go ahead and do that. In this case, it looks like Golbez is having second thoughts about conquering the world, is one way to interpret this. Looks like Golbez is coming right out of the gates here and is going to be in our starting party.
So, yeah, another thing about this is that we have turned on random names.
Yes, so it looks like this Golbez is named Bowser. Yep. So, yes, we'll have random names. We've got Bowser here for Golbez. Now, the fact that this character looks like Golbez tells us what his stats are going to be like. His HP growth is going to be like what we set Golbez's HP growth to be like. His vitality, strength, magic skill, speed, all that stuff is set to the level up table that we made for Golbez. In Golbez's case, he is a tanky mage. He does a little bit less damage than, say, Rydia or Powam would with his black magic spells. But he does do damage, and he has pretty good vitality. And if he has his base equipment style, then he would equip heavy armor. In this case, we've got this dream team rounded out by Edward, who is definitely who you want on your side. Going to go ahead and grab some stuff from the room on the right side of Baron before heading out to the rest. Now, these characters will eventually be joining the party. These characters we're seeing briefly flashing on the screen. So, for example, we have just learned that Tella is going to be taking the place of Sid. We also have learned that Dark Knight Cecil is going to be our romantic love interest. So we've got Golbez and Cecil sitting in a tree here, I guess. And let's go ahead and update the tracker here to the information we have just gathered.
While we update the tracker, just want to come in. I'm your host for the session, Dutch Kyle-sama. Basically,
what was the last one we learned here?
Of a donation that's come in from our good friend Groggy Dog for $10. There is no comment. But being as though it's blank, I will leave the phrase. If it is blank, one may say nothing. And now get back to your game.
All right, so we've gotten out of Baron Castle, and now we need to head over to Mist Dragon. Usually, Mist Dragon is no big deal. The magic defense on that boss is high enough that you're not generally going to succeed with level 1 magic spells, but level 2 magic or just reasonable physical attacks will get you through. Looks like we've got archery on Golbez. We have white mage, that's this equipment style there, and we've got sage equipment style on Edward. That's an awful Edward. A jelly staff, which is not exciting. And what kind of magic do we have here? Chocobo will get us through. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just gonna switch to back row here and leave Edward in the front row, probably to die. And I'll speed up the battle speed and start dashing along. Yes, Edward is slightly worse than normal here. No archery available to him. Usually one of the good things that Edward has going on is the ability to do a little bit of archery. And I won't know until I've gotten into combat of some sort what exactly his ability set is. All I know is that right now is that he doesn't have magic. I guess he could theoretically have Edge's magic, because that would grow a little bit later on. His initial MP is actually 0. Sid's ability set, wow, even worse.
So the reason why we're not running into encounters as frequent is because we have the rarer but harder to run from encounters on.
Which also means that we're more likely to actually take fights whenever we encounter them, because if we were to run away from combat, we would actually have to sit through a few rounds of the enemy attacking us before we actually got out. And in order to conserve MP for the Mist Dragon fight, I'm trying just using arrows from Bowser. Unfortunately, early game bows tend to have very bad accuracy. The equipment here is randomly generated, so every once in a while you might get a pretty accurate early game bow. And in fact, I did actually find another bow, which it occurs to me I should double check which one is better. I do have a... let's see. I'll take the agility improvement. I think that's worthwhile. And I do have a equipment grade modification that shows you the sorts of information that later games in the series do whenever you're adding and removing equipment. But in this case,
Edward.
I think it's just time to fight Mist Dragon.
Bye, Edward.
Yeah, if he's in the front row, he's not going to last long here. I don't know if you found anything for his arms or his head, but for me, I just have a Warlock robe on, which is not exciting.
Yeah, I didn't really find anything else. I did find a gauntlet, however, and a whip.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fortunately, Mr. Kappa here isn't going to be able to wear that, but... Oh, right, I need to update my tracker here with what we know. This is Child Rydia's ability style on Golbez. So the way it works here is that the various ability styles and equipment styles are being full-scale inherited from one character to another. So you're not going to get, like, Helm's black magic and also Rosa's white magic on a character. You'll get one or the other. And if you get Helm's black magic, you will also get the bluff ability that comes with Helm. All of the Japanese-only abilities have been restored to the game here.
Yes, question from PR Miller. Are we going to do the misskip? Of course, because we have someone to do it.
Yes, the only glitch that is beneficial, that is removed, at least intentionally, from the Lunarian Shuffle is item duplication. In the vanilla game, especially in the speedrun, you just immediately on the start of the game sell -1 shield effectively and get a ridiculous amount of cash right in the start of the game. That doesn't work here. So you do actually have to worry about collecting the gear you want and making real shopping decisions as you go through. But Mist Clip still works, and I did just complete Mist Dragon here, and I think it's time to do the Mist Clip. So I shift left. You know what? Rather than burning a tent, which could turn out to be valuable later, I'm going to cast Sight. Anything that interrupts the menu will stop you. Kind of shifted left. Now I'm going to shift right and save on top of Mist Village. At this point, I will now reset the game. And whenever I load the game, I'll be on top of Mist Village, which will allow me to walk past it and then back in. We still need to complete the plot event here, or else the game will crash later on. But this means we can actually explore Mist Village before we get the Enterprise. So this is equipment and other consumable items that you would expect to be acquiring somewhere in the range of like an hour from now, and we're getting it now. So this often means a big influx of money. Oh, hey, there's the pass.
Well, there's Kane.
All right, so sell the pass. And that's actually a pretty large influx of cash. Oh, that's not a bad helmet, but I'm going to see if the weapon shop has anything better. If you press select while pointing at something in an item shop, it'll show you what it's all about. I don't like either of those weapons. That hat was okay, but I think I'd rather hold the cash for shops that...
Dark Moon, it is Golbez percent. We are racing up to Golbez percent, which means that we are going up to Dwarf Castle.
Yeah. If you're ever looking to race the Lunarian Shuffle, my recommendation, especially if you have 2 to 3 hours to spend, is Golbez percent. It's a nice halfway point through the game. It comes at the end of a 4-boss gauntlet where every boss is very different from the last one. So it really feels like a good ending to your quick little speedrunny experience. If you continue past that point, the entire rest of the game essentially amounts to figuring out how your party's going to survive Zeramis, right? And to a lesser extent, the 4 fiends, but usually your Fusoya replacement will carry you through that. But you need to figure out how you're going to survive Zeramis, and that's always a pain in the butt.
Should I do this? Should I just take out the officer? I have the tools to do so. I mean, I do.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of taking out officer. I'd rather just throw an extra Zeus Rage or whatever at one of the mobs in
I know, but I'm doing this for fun.
Watery Pass rather than taking the time out to kill officer. I mean, the only characters that gain experience from killing officer here is your Dark Knight Cecil replacement and your Kane replacement. Rydia's not in your party just yet. Or in this case, it's Kane, of course, which I should mark on my tracker. So Kane has very good agility and reasonable strength. Magic stats aren't so great, so we'll just see what ability set he has and see if that works out.
Alright, there we go. Fight's over.
Yes, we were up against Jumpman. The names of characters when you face up against them, in the base game, it's like karate for Yang and stuff like that, so I just picked a few possible selections for each one.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. That is Pound's ability set.
I mean, Kane is really bad at casting black magic, but
at least he's got
Pound's ability
love.
set is good.
It doesn't matter if it's what kind of character it is. That is...
Ooh. I think I'm just gonna grab 10 Molotovs here.
Right, I forgot I have the pass to sell.
Yep. Worth a heck of a lot of cash. Young Caller equipment, so can equip whips and staves both. Also can equip the chromium ring, which is a really good ring, as it turns out. Nice. Yeah, I think he stays in the back row, though. He also has archery, which helps as far as that goes. And not a lot of MP right now. Come on. Get out. Okay, now Lulu. So that's going to be a Rydia of some sort, is going to be our Tella replacement. That woman in town happens to know the name of the Tella replacement in the Watery Pass. So you can talk with her to get the name of the character. And from that point, it's just figuring out which names correspond to which characters.
Oh yeah, randomized equipment is great.
Oh. I have a whip here.
Yeah.
And a lit one rod. Both of those actually seem very relevant. Feels bad to sell a boomerang. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna sell this silver apple. Yeah, that's just gonna make... Yeah, shopping is just gonna be trivial now.
All right.
Silver apple's generally a pretty late game sort of thing. It gives you plus 50 HP permanently, which, if you're trying to set up to fight against Zeramis, increasing your max HP is like the most important thing. But by selling it now, I'm giving myself a pretty big advantage as far as that goes.
The thing is, when Rydia is a child and then she grows up, she gets a completely different ability and equipment set.
Yep.
So later on,
just gonna have to roll with the punches there. That looks like right now she's got Fusoya's ability set. In the Lunarian Shuffle, Fusoya learns new spells as he gains levels, and otherwise he's kind of what you expect. Low HP, low MP, but learns both black and white magic and is pretty good at casting both.
Yeah. Rydia, kind of sad to see that equipment and ability set leave so soon, but because Golbez and the Lunarian Shuffle can equip rods, so that's the thing. Thunder Sword, okay.
Dark Mage is the equipment style. Dark Mage is what I refer to Golbez's class as. The class indicator for a character in the party menu indicates what equipment style they have. To find out their abilities, you check what abilities they actually have.
Yeah, so there is a good way to tell between Porum and Rosa, though, because I just learned that today.
Yep. White
Porum
Wizard versus White Mage. They also learn spells at
I'm
somewhat
talking about
different
her
levels.
ability set.
Yeah.
Talking about MP. Porum starts with 50 on level 10, and Rosa starts with 80 at level 10.
Neato.
I learned that today.
Yeah, so I had to create a level up table for all the characters that didn't have a level up table at a certain point. Like, Fusoya in the base game joins at level 50, so I had to create what levels 1 through 49 were like. And occasionally knowing that kind of helps out for just figuring out what's going on in the seed just a little bit faster, which, if you're trying to speedrun things, helps a little bit. We're getting pretty close to Octomom here. Got a dagger. I feel like there was another piece of equipment that I got that I wanted to check the usefulness of. Oh, wow, that's not a good robe. I'm not putting that on.
Oh, wow.
And time to see if we survive Octomom.
That's a pretty good knife. The agility lowering is not relevant right now, so...
Chocobo is probably better.
We're just going to let I just Octomam into oblivion.
Yeah, I'm using Bluff on Cloud up here in Kane's spot. Bluff increases Wisdom by 16 for the rest of the current battle. It will stack if you want it to. I actually don't have any relevant spells for this fight, though, so I guess that's kind of a waste of time. I do want to keep him alive, but it doesn't look like that's likely. I guess I just use the lit one rod, which means I'm going to have to drop this in order to make that happen.
Where did you find a lit one rod?
Lulu came with one, I think, and I also purchased one from the Kaipo shop.
Oh, okay. I haven't really checked her equipment, so...
Yeah, I decided to go ahead and sell Silver Apple, so I can now, at this point, buy things without really worrying about it.
And Octomam is now dead. Cloud got some levels.
Yeah, Lit 2 is pretty good for this phase of the game. Thankfully, Cloud survived, so we'll get a fair amount of experience here. We do have maximum experience sharing turned on. In the base game, the amount of experience you gain at the end of any particular fight is divided by the number of surviving characters, so you actually are incentivized to let characters die, which kind of feels bad. But here, everyone gets full experience all the time, so keeping characters alive is good. Oh, hey, Pink Puff's in chat. Pink Puff was the creator of FF Forkster.
Encountered it.
And FF Forkster was a big component of getting the Lunarian shuffle off the ground. So it's a general game editor. It doesn't have anything built in for editing graphics, but you can edit maps, you can edit plot events, you can edit monster stats, all sorts of things. And I was able to use that in order to poke around and find what was what within the ROM, and that really helped speed things along in terms of developing this particular ROM hack.
Yeah, my Discord just restarted itself.
Okay, we've got an emo guy on our Spoony Bard position. He's the spooniest emo guy ever, I suppose. So, Paladin Cecil, his stats are quite good in general. He really doesn't have any stats that are bad. His black magic stat is not exciting. His white magic stat is also not exciting. And... oh my god. My... emulator just crashed. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, let's find out where I saved. You know what? I for some unknown reason felt compelled to make a safety save before running into Damn Cyan. So I'm actually fine. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I just had a subconscious premonition of the future. But I think I've got this going now. Oh, right. I probably need to refresh the stream to Discord, though. So let me go ahead and get that going and go live there. I should be live. Let me know if I am.
Please, oh, there we go. Cool. Thank you for doing that.
Okay. All right. Whew. Well, wouldn't be a marathon if things didn't go weirdly wrong, I guess.
He's got
yeah, I've got a couple people in chat here who I know from the Quest for Glory speedrunning community. It's a series of old Sierra adventure games. And yeah, they're getting some references here. If you played those old games on DOS, you always saved the game because you expected crashes or just inexplicable deaths to come your way at all times. Anyway, we do still have Paladin Cecil as our Spoony Bard. And where are you right now?
Antlion Cave.
Okay, so you have leapfrogged ahead here, so Need to see
Well,
what
that's
I
just
can do.
due to a technical difficulty. I don't really count this as an achievement.
Eh, it's part of the game, for better or for worse. Okay, so let's go ahead and scoot over that way. I think we have pretty reasonable abilities here.
Yes.
Kind of.
Pink Puff, the character that looks like Golbez, is Golbez. Golbez is playable in the Lunarian Shuffle. There's a flag for it. So if you'd like to elaborate.
Yeah, so we have Golbez included in the set of randomized characters. If you include him in the random set, then you will most likely wind up with someone other than Golbez as the villain. We'll find out who he is at the end of the Fabul gauntlet. And Golbez himself, if you have his base ability set, he has some black magic and the dark wave ability, the thing that normally is Dark Knight Cecil's special thing. Those are what he has available. He's also a tanky mage, so high vitality, okay-ish strength, okay black magic, and garbage tier white magic, because he's a black mage. He is his dark magic user. We did get a little bit of help from, I think it was SBQ and Ryuzak, if my memory serves me right. It helped add a few of the missing battle animation frames, as well as the character portrait in the menu is especially well done, I think. I've had people ask before, hey, I didn't know that portrait was hidden in the ROM, but no, it's not. It's just that Ryuzak did such a good job of putting together the portrait in the style that you would expect it to be in. But yes,
Yeah.
Since every character has only one special, one frame of special animation, if you get a different character's special, then you're going to look a little weird whenever you do it. So Kane in particular is a little bit silly because his jumping thing is his downward motion where he's slamming down on the enemy. So essentially, whenever he's aiming a bow and arrows, he's breakdancing, or in this case, whenever he's bluffing, he's doing it by breakdancing in front of the enemy, which honestly, that would kind of work, wouldn't it?
I'm just gonna do bluff just so I can see that wonderful masterpiece.
Okay, starting to learn some level 2 spells on Kane here, I think that was. So, good motion there. And question is, do we have a way to sneak out? I think we have 2 characters right now that have the ability to cast Warp, most likely. So, yeah, we should be fine. Also, we have Dark Knight equipment, and that is Adult Rydia abilities on Paladin Cecil here. Right now, we do not have duplicate characters on. You can tell the Lunarian Shuffle that you want to have the possibility of playing with, 7 Edwards among your various party members, because that's obviously the best way to play Final Fantasy IV. But we didn't choose to do that this time. That helps increase the number of different characters we get to see and show off here. But if you want your extremely spoony seed, you can definitely turn on the Use Spoony Seed option, which is a pre-built character specifier option built into the randomizer if you want that. And we're about to go, or at least I'm about to go into the Water Hag fight. I'm guessing you're probably a little bit past that.
No, I actually took the time to loot Antlion Cave a little bit. So.
I actually kind of skipped everything on that, so guess that got things a
so
little
what
forward.
what everyone just saw there on my screen was called the MP overflow glitch. So basically, I'm using it to warp all the way out, even though I don't technically have enough MP to warp all the way out. You have to not have enough MP for the spell that you're trying to use. Then the slot that you're going to be using to go down on, or whatnot, you have to have enough MP for, and then you press either left, right, left, what have you. So you go left, right A.
Yep. Essentially, just so long as you are returning to the first spell slot on the same frame that you're pressing A to lock in casting the spell, the game won't update its knowledge of how much MP the spell you're pointing at costs. So you'll wind up being able to cast it, even if you only had enough MP to cast the other spell you were pointing at. You can use this to go to negative MP if you actually cast a spell and use it in the party menu. Warp and exit, however, will simply fail to use the proper amount of MP. They won't actually allow you to go into the negatives. Going negative MP causes you to be unable to cast any more magic outside of combat, even if you try to use the MP overflow thing.
But it will allow you to use MP inside of battle.
Yep, and to whatever amount you like. In the vanilla speedrun, this is commonly used on Tella in order to allow him to cast Medio. The game ordinarily taunts you with a Medio spell by locking in Tella's maximum MP at 90, and then having Medio cost 99. So that's a way to get around that and actually cast Medio whenever, plot-wise, you're not supposed to be able to do that. A lot of Rydia representation in the things we're getting here. We've got adult Rydia equipment style on Bart's here. I did pick up a whip, which is not a very good whip, but that means he can now attack back row for full damage. Oh, yeah, that's probably worth it. And
that is definitely Tella's without a doubt.
Where do I put the ring? I think I go ahead and grab that chromium ring and put it onto Bart's here, who I think is going to make a lot better use of the extra agility. And I think that's that. We're pretty light on hats in this seed so far, and that is Tella's ability style. You get a random set of spells prior to mount ordeals for your Tella style character in Lunarian Shuffle here. So in this case, we have Life 2 already, which is kind of neat. We also have Ice 2, which is going to be quite nice. Any level 2 spell at this phase of the game will kick butt. Even if it's on a character that's not very good at casting magic, which Dark Knight Cecil, he's not the worst at black magic, but he's not good.
Comes with a... Okay. Let's go and throw that on. It's not gonna be too relevant other than, like... oh wow, that's bad. Other than the actual damage. Speaking of which, let's throw Paladin Cecil in the front row. Are you actually fighting things?
I am, in fact, fighting enemies. We have the rarer but harder to run from fights flag on here. So, in my opinion, the risk reward for taking a fight is versus running away from it. It's kind of a wash as far as which one's better or worse. Looks like we have Vanilla Yang here.
So I generally like to take the left side of hops.
There are a fair number of pretty good chests over there. I personally think it's too big of a detour to be worth it, but Lunarian Shuffle does try to make sure that chests that you go out of your way to get are higher value for that phase of the game, on average at least, compared to things that are right along your path. This Ken here does not have especially high damage off of his rod he's swinging here. Not sure what kind of rod, but
I'm gonna try to use your logic here on your random encounters.
Yeah, as long as you have a quick way to take out whatever enemies you're encountering, I think it's generally a good idea. But if you don't, then don't.
No, I'm not dealing with that. I thought they did that when they were alone. Am I wrong on that?
Did you get hit by weak?
Yes.
I think Gargoyle just does that as his second action, always. I think that's how that works.
I thought they only did it when they're alone.
I don't think so. I mean, if you just got hit by weak, then obviously not.
I could have sworn that was a thing.
Alright, so after
yes,
you deal
it is.
somewhere around 700-ish damage to Bomb Bomb, at that point, it'll be
Someone in
changing
chat is asking if it is possible with bad stats for Ken to lose to the end fight. It is entirely possible, but Crow has made it so that even if they do lose the fight, that it still proceeds forward like it should.
Yeah. A lot of the plot battles in the game have a flag that says, you know what, if you lose this fight, you get to keep playing. It just resets your party to the way it was before that happened. And I just turned that flag on here. So honestly, it's actually better if they lose than if they barely survive, because then you get a full HP restore. Second Molotov was actually unneeded there. So the red bombs have much less HP overall, but they have much higher magic defense. So that Molotov I was throwing took out the gray bombs, which have more HP but less magic defense. And from there, I was able to move forward with a little bit of Chocobo action. It's higher damage per sub hit, so that gets through. One bomb left here, and then we're through.
I don't know how much damage Barks is going to do with his Ice 2, but we'll see.
It's tolerable. I actually was able to get a pretty decent dagger onto Bart's after giving him back row hitting. I don't have him in the back row right now, but it does let him reach the back row if he needs to. It's Rosa's abilities there for Yang, and let's see what... Oh, right, I don't get to see what equipment he has just yet because he's down. But I need to know for the near future, and I've got a lot of life potions, so I'm just going to burn one. That is Lunar. Okay.
I'm just going to...
So that does allow bow and arrows, which is relevant. May wind up being the best thing he's got available. I think the wind bow was better than Gale, if my memory serves. It's kind of a wash. I'll take the slightly higher accuracy, I think. Now, the question is snow or shock arrows. Looks like snow is better in the abstract, but I think I'm going to want the shot arrows for taking out the water hags later. I think that's how I'm going to handle that. A lot of players really don't like archery in this particular game. It is kind of feels bad because you have to burn ammo in order to fire each shot. I personally actually still like it, but a lot of players avoid it, and it's totally understandable.
Cold wind.
Last step before Fabul encounter.
Last step before you enter the castle. Oh, we've seen that so many times.
Yep.
It's a sad thing when it happens, but kind of funny at the same time. So what I like to do when I get to the gauntlet, I like to buy some cold ones, Zeus rages, Molotovs, what have you. It's a very, very, very quick way to kill the gauntlet that's coming up.
Yep, don't have to worry too much about strategy if you've got that available. Looking through the stuff available for sale here. Occasionally, the equipment generator does not come up with anything reasonable and just throws together some letters. That's how we got the Fwink helmet there. Although, you know what? Even though it's not an exciting helmet, I've been short on hats in general. I'm just going to go ahead and get it, and I think that's going to be beneficial, not for him because he's about... no, you know what? He can have it, yeah. I'll strip him later, I think, but for now he can hold it. And
we are going to
have enough Molotovs to get me through the gauntlet for now. I'll probably buy some more on my way to the inn after the gauntlet.
Oh, I didn't even see Dr. Jones' whip.
It was in a chest somewhere, but I forget where.
And Dark Knight Cecil. Yes. So in the Lunarian Shuffle, Crow added the, basically whatever Kane can wear as far as heavy armor goes, Dark Knight Cecil can wear, and Golbez can wear whatever Dark Knight Cecil can wear. So, yes.
Yeah, as far as defensive stuff goes. For weapons, if you have default equipment rather than randomized equipment like we're using here, I do throw Dark Knight Cecil a bone, and I allow him to equip the sorts of swords that are quite frankly weird that a paladin can even hold. Stuff like the thing that inflicts a curse, the thing that drains the health of the target, the thing that puts enemies to sleep, the thing that turns enemies to stone, the thing that causes you to be uncontrollably berserked. All of those sorts of swords are available as Dark Knight Cecil items. Of course, if you have randomized equipment on, then it'll just randomly generate some dark swords for you. And again, any heavy equipment can be worn.
Yeah, I'm just going into the Fabul Gauntlet now, so I bought 10 Molotovs for this. And sold the apple. You should probably move the Molotov up. Also, sorting
a somewhat recent addition in order to expand on what Emerald Bard said just now in chat, is that Golbez can now hold rods with his base equipment style. So that's one more thing that the Dark Mage has access to other than just the Dark Swords.
Hey, Moon! Welcome in! She's the person I was talking about earlier.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so we've got fight against Gargoyle. Honestly, I probably should have just waited for Ken to do a name. You know what? Chocobo got it in one shot anyway. We're good. Gargoyle will eventually cast Weak if you don't deal with it quickly, so conveniently didn't know I'd end up having a problem there. So should be good.
Yeah, I don't know why Golbez in the after years can wear spears and hammers. That I never understood that.
There's a lot of things about the after years I don't understand, but I think it's probably better for the positivity of the stream if I don't say some of the things I think about it.
I mean, it's a good game. This is the original Final Fantasy IV game in a randomizer. This is not the after years.
Yep. Yep. So we've got the original SNES release. If you want to make your own seeds for Lunarian Shuffle, you will need to find a ROM somewhere for the US
1.1.
Yeah, 1.1 or 1.01 or whatever it's referred to as.
It's version 1.1, but yeah.
Yep. Basically the same one that you would use for other randomizers, other ROM hacks. Usually they all use that as their base rather than 1.0. Not a huge amount of differences between the two, but there are a couple. So now we've got Spoony jumping all over Bowser. I mean, previously we had Jumpman. You'd think he'd be the one jumping on Bowser, but I guess the game isn't exactly...
Mario is one of the actual names for the Paladins also can have.
Yep.
So, I found that interesting.
Of course, Kane can be Luigi, all that kind of stuff. And who's our Golbez replacement? Ah! Got Evil Rosa. Bwahahahaha.
Rosa's a pretty good character. It's sad that we're not going to have her here. Oh, crap, I forgot. What was the... I know what the ability set is. I never marked off what Young had.
Equipment-wise, Young has Fusoya's style.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so I am going to grab some stuff from this shop here. Another set of lives. I'm actually going to grab a few alarms also.
I grabbed alarms earlier. I think I have close to 10 or just over 10.
So, Free Enterprise and Lunarian Shuffle are not identical to each other in terms of what how they translate things. So whenever we're talking about alarms here, we're not talking about the thing that cures sleep. We are talking about the thing that summons the most rare enemy in the area. Yes, Fishing Whip. So that should do bonus damage to reptile type enemies, which does get relevant occasionally in this phase of the game, actually.
You can refer to the alarms as sirens.
Yep.
While we have a moment, just wanted to take a time to basically read a new donation from Classic Gamer 76 for $15. Who's ready for some overnight fun? This is to name Danny's Black Mage, but to give her two choices, either Dan with the exclamation to Dan it, or of course, Liam. And while we have a moment, just want to talk about the Liam Foundation. Based in Rockford, Illinois, its first LGBTQIA+ resource center. It provides services for persons within the community. Known as Our Community, offers safe and welcome facilities for our community, provides mentorship and life skills to persons with special needs and or at-risk behaviors and circumstances in our community. So just taking the time to basically shout out this wonderful foundation while we're sitting here enjoying some good old FF4 Lunarian Shuffle. Now, back to y'all.
Okay, so we are going to be finding the Palom and Porum replacement pretty soon.
I think we're pretty close to each other right now. I just landed on the beach after the party reset. I am actually going to do a safety save before running into Masidia. It's not that common that you run into trouble here, but especially with the harder to run from encounters that comes with the rarer encounters flag, if you have just one party member and you run into a Raven +3 Cockatrice fight, it can be pretty bad. Okay, we've got generic... Oh, wow, okay, we've got Palom and Porum swapped. which isn't a particularly meaningful swap. Okay. What are the odds
Apparently,
on that?
they wanted to try their own roles.
Okay, so we've got a bratty Porum and a calm, cool, and collected Hallam. Fair enough.
Apparently, Balam wanted revenge on Porum for all the head slaps.
Already has a thunder sword.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Wearing
come on,
a
really?
bad suit of armor.
I got an encounter right before the boat ride.
Ah, that gives me a full set of resistances to elements. That's pretty sweet.
Literally,
now the question is, do we do any damage?
literally like 2 or 3 steps away from getting on the boat, and I got an encounter. That is unfortunate.
Oh, interesting. Do I have anything of high value I can sell at this point? Also, what equipment styles do we have? We have Dragoon and Black Mage here. So Dragoon, Black Mage. And I don't know what abilities Palom has yet, but I do have Dragoon. Not Dragoon, it's Edge there. Okay, so that does mean that Ninja Star would actually be very effective if I can afford to buy some. What else do we have here? Oh, Thunder Shield's actually pretty relevant for MyLön as well.
Did you, who has the ninja ability set? I heard you say something about the ninja stuff.
That is Porum who has that one.
Okay. Porum's actually not that bad of a character. A lot of people hate on her, but it's not
low
bad.
HP is a big problem in this game, so I kind of understand it, but yeah,
She's not bad.
She's not usually a total disaster.
No, she's not. Let's see here. What can I put on you? Definitely don't want to rot on.
Hard chopping decisions here. I don't think I'm going to take that heart clothing. I'm instead just going to grab a couple of shurikens for my ninja.
I never really think about buying that stuff. Good thing I have a chromium. Oh, I just realized. I just realized the name on Palom. Toad. I'm assuming that's a reference to Super Mario.
Yep, that's the one. I'm the best! Yahoo! That's her.
Yep.
Okay, one fight here before I get into Mount Ordeals. Tiny mages. I hate tiny mages.
Let's see here.
So, tiny mages are really annoying. They have quite high defense. They counterattack magic with Psych. They counterattack Fight Command with Hold. It's kind of a pain in the butt. They also have a fair amount of magic defense and okay HP. Of all the enemies in the Watery Pass, they are by far the most annoying.
Oh yeah, because they counter Hold with physical attacks and Psych with magic, so it's really annoying.
Counterattacks, is generally speaking, are a big pain in the butt in Final Fantasy IV. Not a whole lot of enemies have those, but when you do have to deal with it, it is not pleasant.
Yeah, speaking of counterattacks, for all of you who don't know, and are having really hard time with, say, the Zermus fight or Ogo Pogo, cast Reflect on one of your party members and bounce spells off, and it will not trigger a counterattack. The phase changing of elements is actually a counterattack, believe it or not. So
yeah, you can do some tricks there in order to disrupt the sneaky way that the game causes enemies to have more than 65,535 HP, which is otherwise the maximum that the game's able to handle, which is by causing them at some point to change phase and reset their HP. Zeramus does this, and the Four Fiends do that also. So now we've got adult Rydia, and we'll have to find out what equipment and abilities she has. She is grandfathered into whatever equipment she had been holding whenever she was here previously. This time it looks like we've got Paladin equipment, which is pretty good in general. Lit One Rod is currently on her. I could give her a lightning... Nope, no magic on this new Rydia form. Probably should go ahead and give her that Thunder Sword then. Does unfortunately hurt strength, which is unfortunate.
I just realized Rosa is kidnapping Cecil.
Yeah, I guess that is how that turned out. Got a little BDSM going on, I guess.
I guess.
If they're both into it, then I guess that's fine. Anyway, I'm going to be heading on to MyLön at this point.
Facts.
And I think this is where I'm going to spend those shurikens.
Yes, Sir Link-a-Lot, that is definitely true. Cecil wasn't interested in her time. She said, too bad you're mine anyways.
Oh, hey, this Rydia jumps.
He's Sonny Rat.
Of all the physical ability sets you can get, Kane's is one of the better ones, I think. Let's throw some cards at MyLön.
Oh, Thunder Sword actually lowers the strength.
Yeah, a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it is enough to be annoying.
Well, I don't think for me it lowers the multipliers, so...
Oh, I forgot to use the bomb summon.
Oh,
so
I never
don't actually
that.
have access to it right now. Kind of silly.
Whoops. I did not buy the bomb summon, so... I kind of thought it wasn't actually worth it since Golbez is going to be leaving pretty soon, so... I think we have a lot of
caster for that.
I think we have.
Right, it was the Edward replacement, so yeah, he's leaving soon.
Yeah. I think we have some chaos going in the chat.
Yeah, I may have kind of been asking for it.
I mean, kinda.
Okay, so the MyLön fight is usually more difficult than the MyLön Z fight. MyLön has no particular elemental weakness, and he counterattacks anytime he takes damage with Lit 1, which is quite annoying. And Elena just fell, unfortunately. So, unless I get her up before the Oh My Body, we are going to be short experience on her, which is unfortunate. I Inventory is kind of a mess right now.
We do know one thing though. We will not have a jumper for the Valvalis fight.
That is correct. She'll be leaving just before then. So with no jumper for Valvalis, that is going to mean that she has half of her usual max HP. That is one concession that the Lunarian Shuffle will make, unless you turn on super hard mode, in which case, or hard mode also. There's hard mode, there's super hard mode. If you turn those on, tough luck. You'll deal with what you got.
Yeah, exactly. Not bad damage from the cards.
Move the sort and trash can up a little bit in case I need those in the future. Let's go ahead and use
this is the 1.1 version. There is no mimic glitch, so
right,
which means you cannot throw your trash can. Even though everyone who's OG loves to throw their trash can, you cannot do it. That is Dark Knight Cecil's abilities on Palom.
Okay, go ahead and save before moving forward here. There shouldn't be anything that would go wrong here, but I've learned not to trust that during marathons, so on to MyLön Z.
Well, I mean,
MyLön Z is weak to air, weak to fire, weak to holy, is a zombie. All sorts of different ways you can try to get advantages against him. So usually you have something or other that's pretty good that you can do.
Here's my other cards. We got the heart of the cards going on. I couldn't help it.
I'm going to go ahead and do some bow and arrow action. To take advantage of the weakness to air. 350 some damage from Lulu using bow and arrows. Jumping does actually expend an arrow. Kicking does not.
Oh,
so I guess essentially Lulu here is doing some Legolas action, jumping from elephant to elephant.
Alright, use the Molotov here, and that should be the end of the fight. Yep. Okay. MyLön 1 is dead. Yes. Definitely Choco Kings. Definitely some very good entertainment.
Yep. All right. So pretty soon we're going to find out who our Paladin Cecil replacement is. Paladin Cecil and Dark Knight Cecil are treated as two completely separate characters. So we're just outright going to lose this Golbez entirely, and someone else is going to replace. Because we do not have duplicate characters on, we do know that whoever we get is going to be someone that we have not seen yet. But once we lose Bowser, his name will still be Bowser, but he's going to look very different. Who do we have left? We have Fusoya, Edge, and Sid, I guess? Unaccounted for?
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so bets in chat if you haven't seen it yet from Goku's stream.
No,
where are you right now?
I'm battling MyLön Z right now.
Okay, so yeah, we're, again, pretty close here.
Yeah, I've lost a little bit of time due to bad random encounters along the way.
Ah. Okay. So unfortunately we'll be losing Golbez. We'll get a few dark waves to the face from him as his parting shots. But who do we have? We have... Alright, that one. So, love story now is between Dark Knight Cecil and Edge.
I mean, It's not a bad mix-up.
Edge has very high agility, and as the main character, he is going to be the agility anchor here. So, yeah, we will have to deal with that. Oftentimes, it's considered advantageous in Final Fantasy IV to keep your main character at a very low agility, because that usually causes rounding errors to go more in your favor than against your favor in terms of how quickly everyone gets their turns. Looks like we have Golbez equipment based off the fact that the Legend Sword is a Legend Dark Sword this time. And that was Yang's abilities there.
So, Crow, do you want to tell them a little bit about how you reworked the equipment style of Yang?
Sure. So with Yang, if you have randomized equipment sets, whoever has Yang's equipment style is more likely to be two-handed because, claws don't do any base damage, so, not too much value for having 2 versus 1. And besides, Yang is normally two-handed. But the other big thing is whoever has Yang's equipment style. Oh, that was a ninja sword, not a... Ah, okay. That's actually pretty sweet. So I do still have that rock boomerang. So yeah, full damage from back row. Okay, so I misread that. And whoever has Yang's equipment style is going to have attack power based off of the square of their current level, because that's how Yang works in vanilla. So whoever gets his equipment style gets to enjoy that here. Okay, so Lilith's here. We also have plenty of Molotovs. So the alarm summons whatever the rarest encounter in the current region is. In this region, it's a pair of Liliths. Each Lilith is worth 2750 experience, I think, which for this phase of the game is absurd. So your Paladin Cecil replacements joins at a fairly low level. So if you have access to alarms, it is often a good idea to do some number of Lilith fights here. Exactly how many is not entirely clear. Alarms are useful also elsewhere in the game. For example, you can summon some pretty useful yellow dragon in egg fights in the underworld once you have access to an airship there. Unfortunately, I did lose Bowser during that back attack there, so I will have to bring him back and then store some HP so he can try again. Do I have anyone right now that can heal? Not naturally. Blech. I do have a few Cure 1 potions. I guess I'll burn some here.
I bought 50 Cure 1s. I'm like, I'm not...
I probably should have done that.
I went, nah, we're not doing this today.
Yeah, not buying enough consumables is something that very much burns you if you let it happen.
Yes, that is true. That is very true. Even the Lunarian Shuffle Randomizer is fond of scrambled dragon eggs.
Yeah, if you are going all the way to Zeramis, there are quite a few different ways you can try to grind to get your party up there. You can summon some gold dragons in the Bahamut Cave using alarms. You can summon some yellow dragon eggs and get a bunch of experience that way. You can do the attacker-defender grind, I call it, at the CPU fight. Just keep summoning attackers and defenders. Each pair that you take out is worth 100,000 experience. You have to survive Globe 199 a couple times in between each set. But if your party is set up where you can do that easily, that's a good way to get a whole lot of experience there. You can also do the traditional D-Machine fight.
Or Mac
That's
Giants.
a pretty popular one. Or Mac Giants are also pretty good. You find a searcher that summons those repeatedly, take them out, profit. That usually works out best whenever you have access to the weak spell is what usually matters there. Getting Rydia suited back up for jumping action to take out this soul. Although, actually, Bowser can probably just handle this. Yeah, our main character kicks butt. Rock Boomerang in one hand, Legend Sword in the other. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Gonna run down here to the Chocobo Forest and hop on Chocobo. And run back to Masidia.
Did you not? Yeah, so traditionally you're going to use a chocobo, right? That's just the concept.
Yeah, no encounters while you're riding on the cute little yellow fluffy thing. Plus you get chocobo music, so that's nice too. Back to Masidia, we do have to check in with the Elder. It's supposed to be where you see the completely nonsensical legend. One thing I'm thinking about maybe adding to Lunarian Shovel at some point is having the game show a random collection of words that show up elsewhere in the game's dictionary. Just throw together words completely at random and see if that makes any more sense than the default original translation of the Masidian legend.
I don't know why they chose that. It doesn't make
Essentially, this game was kind of a case in point example to Squaresoft that they needed to hire Ted Woolsey. As much as everyone likes to rage about Ted Woolsey's translations of some of the Squaresoft games just down the line from here, the fact is his stuff made a lick of sense, and this occasionally does not.
Did they like fire him afterwards? Oh, well, did I?
Oh no, he did fine. Eventually, of course, they had bigger translation teams now than just a dude, which is what they were working with at the time. But yeah, Woolsey's pretty good. He had, of course, a tough hand dealt to him, right? He had to see to it that games that had very little ROM space available to fit the much less space efficient text that comes from English text compared to Japanese. That had to contain the same amount of plot, which, objectively speaking, it just can't. So, yeah. Anyway, I just finished the barroom brawl there, as I call it, with Yang.
I'm popping my last alarm that I'm going to pop. Because by that point I'll be out of Molotovs, so...
Alright.
Okay.
So it sounds like you'll be running through with a little bit higher of a level than I am, most likely. In the barroom brawl against Young, or whoever his replacement is, you have two options. Either one, deal 4,000 damage to him, that will end the fight, or two, wait for 2 attacks, and then use the fight command with whoever your main character is. And that will just end the fight immediately, and that is what I did here. My attacks are dealing like 500 damage or so. I could have won via damage, but I think it would have been slower.
So what are your
we have
levels?
IMAC arrows, so I know those will deal bonus damage against robots.
What level are you right now? That's a question, so we can compare levels.
Let's see. Looks like I'm between 18 and 22, depending on which character you look at.
My
I'm not
lowest,
impressed by the Baron shops. You can probably skip those.
so my lowest level character is level 22. So that is Edge, level 22. But lowest are actually a really good form of experience.
Yeah. My guess is that something weird happened between moving palette swapped monsters around inside the game, because it kind of seems like the Lilith and the Lamia are awfully similar to each other as far as overall stats are concerned. So I do kind of wonder if something strange occurred there. Alternatively, it may well be that the game just wanted to make sure that your replacement for Paladin, your new Paladin Cecil had a way to level up quickly. So maybe that's all they were thinking about. I don't know.
No idea. We are about to. I love the fact that we have Palom replacing Porum and Porum replacing Palom.
That was quite the swap there.
Yeah, apparently Palom's trying to get back at her for slapping him on the head for so long. That's what my guess would be anyway.
I'm trying to figure out what I do here with the upcoming couple fights. Kind of annoying we don't have a whole lot of useful magic. We do have... Doesn't even know Berserk yet. Blech. Yours is probably going to know Berserk. You're young, is probably going to know Berserk.
Yeah.
Mine does not. So that's going to be a bit of a pain there.
Which is going to make the Baigen fight worse for you. What am I going to do? Let's see how much damage you're doing with focus. I think my holy schmoly. Do we have something killing mages? Because that
there was a rod that kills mages.
No, I'm talking
which
about
one
what
it was. I didn't buy
Edge.
it. It was in a shop somewhere.
I'm talking about what Edge has on.
Oh, yeah, I guess the rock boomerang also rocks mages' worlds. So, yeah.
I went, jeez Louise! 2,400 damage with one focus.
Oh, who are you attacking? A tiny mage?
No, I was attacking a Baron Guard in the Baron Guard karate fight.
Oh, right, they're mages. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, they're
mages.
mages.
Weird about character classes sometimes.
Mad Ogres are also mages. So if you run and come across a mage killing thing, use it on them. Apparently the layout got screwed up again.
Oh. Anything I need to do to fix that, or are we good?
Alright, we're good now.
Okay. So Baigen will periodically restore his arms. And the flame spell is quite nice here. It's considered black magic. So Baigen will in fact counterattack with giving himself a wall. But flame actually ignores wall, so works out pretty well.
So
overall, that was a pretty fast, pretty easy Baigen fight. I think I am going to stop by the...
if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Crow, but I think the only difference between the ninja magic and the black magic is literally a different ability set, and it rewrites the entire ninja magic as over black magic.
Yeah, it literally writes black for the name of the spell type, and then goes back and says, "Oh wait, this was ninja magic," and writes ninja instead. That was the approach they went with. Yeah. So it is kind of a hack job as far as that goes, but as far as the game is concerned, ninja magic literally is black magic. Anything that will trigger on black magic will trigger on ninja.
Which I always found to be interesting.
It's basically the same idea. It's offensive magic for the most part.
You don't really
with plus smoke, I guess.
You don't really think about that though. So
anything these guys are wearing that I want to hold on to?
Well, that's pretty good.
Not really.
That's pretty good though. I have nothing for his hats. I want Will, but...
Do I have a way to disperse the water? Yes, I have a lit one rod somewhere. You can wear that.
So do
I also
I.
have a couple Zeus Rages I purchased specifically in case I needed it for this fight, so I may as well use that, I guess. I think I've got a lit one rod for this guy to use, yeah. And that's what he's going to use for the rest.
think specifically for the fight that's coming up, so we have Rosa's ability set. We do have Berserk. You're right. I do have Berserk. What level is your young right now?
Not sure right now. Probably around 20. Maybe 22, something like that. The exact level that characters learn each spell is randomized in the Lunarian Shuffle.
Within a specific range, though.
Yeah, like plus or minus 5 or so for each individual spell compared to its base level.
Let's see if Young with like 3 will can actually do it. This is why I don't 100% like to do the search spell with someone say Yang. A lot of people don't really realize this, but the cure spells themselves do not have a chance of hitting. They will always hit. The other spells do. So
yeah, curiously, the cure spells also count as damage. So if you use it on an enemy, or even if an enemy uses a cure spell on themselves, it will have to get through their magic defense before it does any damage, which is kind of a weird thing to think about, but that is how that works. You can see this in particular in the Mage's Sisters fight. If you leave the one in the back alive, it will eventually cast Cure 2, and it'll heal for like 12 or something. Alright, that's Kainazo down. Time for some party swapping. Got to find out what our Tella does.
speaking of party swapping, something that we did not turn on but is available in the Lunarian Shuffle is Lunacy mode.
Yes, Lunacy mode adds the peculiar rule where every time you win a battle with Lunacy mode on, the game reshuffles your current party to a random subset of the characters you have met so far. The total number of party members you have will stay the same, but all the other party members keep swapping every single battle, and you just have to keep rolling with it. In the end, you pretty much are going to need to get a reasonable set of equipment onto all 13 of your party members, because your Dark Knight Cecil replacement will also stick around for that. So yeah, it's quite a bit of effort that you have to put into that, and you have to think through all the steps there, which is, of course, the point. If that interests you, turn it on. If you don't want to deal with quite that level of insanity, then you don't have to. Today, we are not.
Yes, that is true. Fixed sticky stats is also an option. Care to explain the whole concept behind that?
Sure. So, there are a number of glitches in this game that sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, and fixing a bunch of those is taken care of by the fix. Oh, what am I doing? Isn't time for the well yet. I need to go to Roya. Um, so with fixed sticky stats, that fixes the problem where your ability to critical hit will often just kind of go away for no apparent reason and will never be recoverable. If you equip the adamant armor and then take it off in vanilla, your critical weakness to fire and ice and lightning will all stay. Oh no, I think it's actually just fire and ice, not lightning. In any case, kind of annoying there. That gets fixed by fixed sticky stats. And the back row glitch also gets fixed. In the base game, you... I think that's... says ability set there. In the base game, if you ever have the ability to deal full damage from back row because you have a whip or a... do you know exit? You do not. Okay. If you have a whip, if you have bow and arrows, anything like that, you permanently have the ability to attack from back row. And we have occasionally been making use of that here, just by picking up something that is long range and then switching over. Rydia, for example, right now does full damage from back row for me, even though she currently has a Thunder Sword equipped. Time for Cave Magnes. With randomized equipment, it can be a little tricky to figure out what things are magnetic and which things are not. You will generally not be able to tell by the name unless it literally makes it clear, oh hey, this is an iron gauntlet. That'll make it pretty obvious. But for everyone else, I will need to double check these. I guess the wind bow is probably magnetic. No, wind arrows? I don't think zircon's a metallic material, so I'm actually a little lost as to what it is that's metallic here. Maybe both the bows and the arrows, I guess?
What I'm going to say here is when you're in this cutscene and you just get out of the cutscene, do not press the menu button. Crow knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, game crashes. Not a good thing, so yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I've had it. It's a hard lock. I've had it many times.
Okay, heading into Cave Magnes here. The gimmick to this cave is that anyone that's wearing anything metallic is essentially dead during the fight. They can still take damage, but they're not able to act, and if everyone that is still alive is magnetized, then you are considered dead. And we will be approaching Dark Elf at the end. Dark Elf is very weak to holy elemental damage. The legend weapon that you get at the top of Mount Ordeals is that, so that'll be quite convenient there. And I am actually going to run away from these fights. Edge is a pretty fast character here, so running away won't be as terrible as far as how many times we take hits, but let's see. Let's see how good that bear. Oh wow, okay, that was worthwhile. It's a chest with a bear set of clothing in Magnes, and it has a pretty big strength bonus, so that's going to help quite a bit.
So we don't really have anyone that has exit right now. I don't think. Young's not gonna learn it until after Zot, and Tella's not gonna learn it until he gets to a certain level. So we might not have exit for Magnes.
Yep, have to take the walk of shame.
I do want to see. Yeah, definitely. I do want to check this though before moving forward.
Don't forget to.
Thank goodness I have not taken the walk of shame. Let's go exit items. Big brain.
Did you find an exit?
Found exit items for sale in the pub.
Oh, neato. Yeah, there's 2 item shops that are not linked with the usual other networks of item shops. And they only sell 1 item each, but every once in a while it's exactly what you want. The Troya shop that normally sells the pass is one of those. And another is the item shop in Silvera. Silvera is a pretty severe detour. You're not usually going to go there unless you're pretty desperate. Usually, if you need some extra equipment at this phase of the game, you're going to take a look instead at trying to survive a fight or 2 in the ruins of Eblon, because Eblon will have a lot to work with.
Is it the Wicker Church?
Both the wind bow and the wind arrows are metallic. Took me a while to figure that out.
I have a different bow on Yang. Is it the... Oh, it's the bow, the Tengu bow, and the shock arrows are both metallic.
Yeah, a lot of our arrows this time are metallic. Just by chance. Now I'm going to be walking out of Magnes, unfortunately. I do not have an exit.
Yeah, you should have went to the pub.
I guess so. Which is definitely a pub and not something else.
I mean... Can we say it? I don't think we can.
90s Nintendo.
Hey, Nintendo. Remember when you did that thing? So, on a side note, the way that the music in Magnes Cave works is a lot different than what you would see in Free Enterprise. The theme that plays is not Edward's theme, nor is it a random song. It is whatever character is playing the harp, that's the theme is.
Yep, just in general, anytime a particular character's theme would play in a cutscene, the theme of the character that has replaced that character plays. So, in this case, we had the Water Hag rudely awakened by Cecil's fanfare. And now also Dark Elf is being annoyed by the same music.
No, can you be more specific? I mean,
I never actually put in what this fellow does. Tella is very frequently a throwaway character. His stats are miserable.
Yeah,
so
the thing that I don't like about him, for the most part, is just his HP. He gets like a little over 2,000 HP at level 99. It's really bad. Apples are kind
his
of
agility is pretty bad. Also, I want to say worst in the game. And his strength actually goes down as he levels up.
which is
I guess the idea is he's getting even older as the game moves on. So most of the time, Tella won't do a whole lot. He does have some white magic here, just not exit yet, which was the spell I wanted him to have.
So, when Dark Elf transforms into the Dark Dragon, he no longer has the boss bit.
Right. So that means he's suddenly vulnerable to stop, weak if you have that spell, slow, well, that works on bosses anyway. Theoretically, if you had another enemy out, you'd be able to use the life potion to gain a bunch of extra HP there. Not sure when that's relevant. Not HP, a bunch of extra experience there. Not sure when that would ever be relevant, but it would theoretically work. Now, pay close attention to the Red Wings here. Got the Enterprise-style Red Wings approaching, and now all the monsters on the ship are really hard at work upgrading the Red Wings mid-flight, and now it's the Falcon. Entering Tower of Zot now.
I think I'm going to... Am I fine? Should I? No, I think I'm fine. I don't think I need to stay at the end.
My usual full playthroughs of Lunarian Shuffle will pick up the Flame Dog chest. There's a chest that's trapped, and you have to fight a Flame Dog to get its reward. Generally speaking, chests that are trapped are pretty high value targets. However, I'm not going to do that here because we are going to be ending this particular run once we have defeated Golbez. Well, the Golbez replacement, the Golbez fight in the Fourth Castle. So there's going to be less time where whatever we get there is going to be irrelevant. So at this point, I'm kind of rushing towards the end. So we've got kind of a gauntlet of 4 boss fights in a row. First, the Major Sisters, then Valvalis, then the Calbrenna fight,
and then Golbez.
Then finally the fight against the villain. So each of those fights is going to involve a different set of characters and poses a very different challenge from one to the next. So we are going to have to figure out how to get past all of that. And the answer for the first fight here is actually pretty clear, and although I am going to save here because it's a marathon, I don't anticipate any real challenge. I'm just going to be having Edge kick Sirius butt, because his boomerang gives him quadruple damage against mages, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you thought Edge was doing damage before, you didn't even know. Let's go and heal up with Tella. She did take a beating.
2,960 damage.
I am now
casually
going to be about to enter the Maga Sisters. So we're like neck and neck, I think.
Yeah, pretty close.
See if we can get a berserk off. Are you gonna be able to hit Yang? Yay! He only has like 2 or 3 will, but he actually hit that in the middle slot. Why do you think I put him in the middle? We're gonna be losing the that overall berserk though in a few, so.
We were really close there to having Cindy get killed by Mindy.
Well, the middle sister is now dead.
Yeah, so Cindy's wall ran out while Mindy was still in Delta attack mode. So she actually successfully Ice 2'd Cindy. And Cindy was really low on HP at that point, but no, she did not quite die to that.
I think the most dangerous sister out of all of the out of both the rest of them is actually Sandy. Because Mindy's not really an issue. Ooh, Charm didn't actually hit. That's good. And Mega Sister's fight is done.
Now up against Rosa in the ultimate waifu brawl here, fighting over the chamber where we have Rosa tying up Cecil in the back. Yep. Anyway, get a quick little medio cast here, and then we'll swap some party members. Rydia is out, and Dark Knight Cecil with Pella's spell set, which is very relevant here, is going to be joining in.
Definitely.
And we'll also be picking up Edward with Tella's equipment and Sid's abilities. So yeah, he's not going to be contributing much, but I suspect that Dark Knight Cecil will. Now, of course, Dark Knight Cecil at this phase of the game has 1 will, so at least base. I might be able to get him a little bit more, but yeah, it's not going to be a lot.
Madonna. Ultimate Waifu War. Lulu versus Madonna.
All right.
No, actually, technically, she's not young. She's not at such a young age. She grew up.
Yep. Yeah, the way it works is if Rydia leaves the party and returns, she starts as a child and returns as an adult.
Yeah, she didn't really die that young. Well, yeah, it's still young, but it's not like child super young.
He knows Blank, and Blank is relevant to this fight. I think I'm going to go ahead and MP glitch here. I think that's worth the effort.
Yeah, and
what equipment can I put
definitely
on
relevant here.
So that fishing whip actually gives a fair amount of agility, so that is relevant now.
The only thing that is kind of like not good is the fact that we have adult Rydia's equipment set on Dark Knight Cecil. Cannot wear staves.
So Valvalis, if she is spinning, has pretty good evasion and is completely immune to any magic. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, especially since we don't have the ability to jump. As a concession to that, since the party facing Valvalis does not have any way to jump. That does mean that the game has halved the amount of HP that Valvalis has. So it's not 6,000, it's 3,000 I need to burn through, but still I need to actually burn through that. So I need Bards to actually land the white magic he's casting here. Let's see if I can get Yang to do the same. These are not particularly good white magic casters, but looks like we're okay on that front so far. I'll be aiming instead of using berserked attacks with Ken. Aim gives perfect accuracy, so that's a good counter to the high evasion that Valvalis has. Most enemies in this game actually just don't have any evasion at all, owing to the fact that the game just doesn't bother loading their evasion. There's evasion written in a giant table for everyone, in all the enemies in the game, and the game just does not bother to pick that up for most enemies. The exception is if an enemy's evasion changes in the middle of a fight, then that code actually works. Alright, Valvalis is down. 2 more fights to go, and then we'll be done with this Golbez percent race.
See if, actually, you're not relevant. Let's see.
Kane's probably going to know Quake when he returns here.
There we go.
This ability set learns Quake very unusually early. I think it's level 23 is the base level for learning that. And Quake is ridiculously powerful, so that's a nice little reward you get for whoever your Palm replacement is. Plus, you can use Twin Magic if you have both Palm's ability set and forums around. In this case, is that going to happen? Yes, there's going to be one fight where we can do that, I guess.
You know what? Go wild.
No, there's
Edward.
not. Sid's replacement leaves at that exact moment, so nope.
You know what, Edward? Go wild. Go wild. I don't even care.
Did you berserk him?
Yes, I did.
Is he hitting anything? Because I really don't think he's very good in this particular seat. There have been seats where Edward has carried the game for me, but this is not one of them.
I'm like, screw it. You know what? Edward, go wild.
All right, about to head into the Underworld now. The Underworld marks the next phase of the game. You spend a bunch of time in the Overworld and the Underworld and on the Moon. And once we deal with the Dwarf Castle, that kind of marks the end of the first half of the game, is how I usually think about it.
Hey,
It's
guess
also
what?
pretty
Edward
close
actually
to
hit
that.
something.
Did he hit?
Yeah, he did.
For respectable damage?
40 damage, but still, he still hit.
I'm gonna say no on the respectable part there.
But he still hit, so...
Alright, so at this point, we take the Enterprise down into the Underworld, and then turns out the Red Wings and the Dwarves are fighting, and we get caught up in the crossfire. We'll get caught up in the crossfire. Crossfire. We'll get caught
Hey,
up
he
in
hit
the
again! Let's go!
crossfire.
Go, Edward!
Crossfire. Crossfire.
Oh my goodness gracious. Just... die already.
Okay, so let's go ahead and Stardust is for sale. I'll take that. Stardust is the highest damage, but it is a non-elemental. spell damage item. So quite good, actually. If you have no other reasonable damage output, you can just use that. In particular, it will almost always two-shot the Calbrenna fight. So you don't have to worry about them having the opportunity to merge into Big Baby, because you're just going to defeat them before they have the opportunity to see that the Brennas are down.
Yeah, because they have to have a whole opportunity. Also, why is Edge missing so much?
The rock boomerang, for all of its awesomeness, does not have much accuracy. It did occur to me after I started the fight that it may have actually been better to have him take the boomerang off, even though that would significantly reduce his damage. Increasing accuracy is probably more important for that fight.
Yeah, Edward just hit again. Let's go.
Okay, Calbrenna down. One more fight for me, and then that will be that.
Oh,
Pretty
bye,
close
Edward.
race, though. We're both in the final gauntlet of a bunch of fights here.
Bye, Edward. You served us well.
If you're having any trouble at this phase of the game, like say maybe you're in a hard mode seed or something, one thing to look out for here is if you have any instant death resistant equipment, which is indicated on the equipment screen via a gravestone. If you resist instant death because of something you're wearing, that will protect that character from being killed by shadow, which can potentially make you have one more character to work with for this fight here.
She has to be close to dead, right? Just come on. Wow, this is taking forever. Finally, she dies. Edward and Tella both got sacrificed.
Take one more hit here and we'll be done. Time.
GG's.
GG. Alright, so yeah, we call time whenever the villain says, "Why?" And that is that. We have the creepy glove flying over to the crystal and stealing it. And of course, if you have the warp spell, kind of famously here, you can save yourself a dungeon later on by going ahead and casting warp. That takes you to the previous room. And turns out this crystal is just a reskinned version of the crystal from the sealed cave. And that saves you entire dungeon later. But in any case, sounds like it won't be very long at all for you to finish up. How long was that run there? I actually wasn't keeping close
It was
eye
like
on.
1 hour, 51 minutes, and like.
Oh, that's actually pretty fast then.
Yeah.
Usually Golbez percent is like 2 hours 15 minutes for a lot of seeds if the players have a pretty good idea of what they're doing. In this case, Edge was awesome, and that really sped things along for some of the fights that would normally require a lot more attention and a lot more preparation. We were able to be pretty cavalier with most of our equipment here, and just kind of gauge equipment as generally good or generally bad, and then just run from there.
Yeah.
If you have actually difficult fights, then it pays off to actually do some menuing and carefully consider, okay, this character should get that character should get this other thing. And that's a lot of the fun in the Lunarian Shuffle, I think. You will be presented with a lot of weird scenarios. In this case, it was pretty obvious. Let Tella Anguish, let Edward Anguish lean really heavily on this one really strong edge. But every once in a while, you're going to realize in this seed, the way to go forward is to put that Fusoya in the front row, put an axe in his hand, and protect the heck out of him. Sometimes that's just what you gotta do. And finding little things like that is a big part of what I find fun about the experiences come out upon finishing making this randomizer. And then sometimes you just get to enjoy hitting the jackpot and having a mage busting rock boomerang to pair with your legend sword on a dual wielding character. That's how it happens sometimes too.
You know, I'm actually gonna medio this encounter.
Yeah, I guess you can, right?
I'm gonna do it on Calbrina, just for the walls, because you know we got to see rocks.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than Stardust, but still the same idea.
You can do it, Cecil. I believe in you.
Now is just as good as time as any to talk about our donation prizes. Basically, we've got a good selection of prizes here today. So, our grand prize being a wired gaming headset. Minimum donation of $40 to up the total donation. We've also got a voucher for one medium display, aka a medium metal poster of your choice. Minimum donation for $25 on the day. Available today as well as tomorrow. Set of classic cartridges. These are some beauties. I'm talking Blades of Skill for that NES, Wizard and Warriors for that NES, Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire N64. Don't tell me you ain't played the heck out of that game when you was a kid. You know you did. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear. I also have this game as well as the first one, and Sonic Blast. We won't talk about Sonic Blast, but that's neither here nor there. Mortal Kombat for Game Gear, and of course, Disney's Aladdin. Not as hard as Lion King, but still quite difficult. Minimum donation of only $15. We've got Dork Link's Master Sword. When you were a kid and you thought that you was gonna beat Zelda 2, Dork Link came out and was like, not today, homie. And also, in spirit of Final Fantasy, we've got some dope perlers. Basically, one set of 6 perlers, minimum donation $10, as well as some beautiful Final Fantasy coasters, minimum of $5. Mario candy tins, minimum of $5. Buttons as well. Of course, there's some additional prizes. So, guys, send your donations in. It's for a great cause. And yeah, you guys don't need to hear me too much anymore. I'll get back to the stream.
All right, I'm about to finish up here with the thing here. One more quick should be enough to take care of the Golbez replacement, and that is time.
All right. GG.
Thanks.
GG to the both of you.
All
you.
right. So
Great.
big thanks to everyone that was involved in organizing this marathon and for reaching out to the Lunarian Shuffle community and actively inviting us in to present this here. If you enjoyed what you saw today, go ahead and just head to the blog, get the actual randomizer. If you have any questions about it, you can head to the Discord. I like talking about this. I spent a fair amount of time putting it all together, so talking about all the little details about why things are the way they are, what things are actually, in cases where it's maybe not super clear. Just chat about whatever, and it's all great. So yeah, I'll be signing off here. Thanks a lot, and have fun.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who did this specific Marathon, shoutouts to the restreamers. They're really great. Glad to be a part of the community. And with that being said, I will see you all later, and hopefully you'll love Lunarian Shuffle. I will see you later. Take care.